This video is specific to a new ski prep. If you just want a regular tuning video of what I do on the day-to-day, look at this video here, or check the description. These are my new Blizzard Thunderbird wide bodies. I am doing a full ski prep on these things. All new skis out of the factory should be prepped. Prepping or shaping a new ski is necessary to expose the edge for tuning, and it also improves the performance of the ski. You're shredding with a ski dad.
The tuning setup I use while tuning is fairly simple. Masking tape, a Panzer file, a base bevel, a file guide, clamp, and files, 4 diamond stones, 200, 400, 600, and 1500, a gummy stone, wax, iron, scraper, and a couple of brushes. You really don't need any more than this. I get away with doing absolutely everything with this kit.
There are 4 tasks when prepping a ski. The first is to tackle the base bevel. Now, all new skis, when they come off the assembly line, the wheel, as it cuts, lifts away as the tip goes by, and you don't get the same base bevel for about this much of the tip and about a little bit less on the tail of the ski as well. You want to tackle both of those. I spend more time base beveling the tip and the tail, and then basically my tool just rides along the middle of the ski.
The first tool I'm going to use is my base bevel guide. I like the Swix one. It's big, it's bulky, it sits in my hands well. I run a short Swix file inside of it. This is a pretty old one. I've been running this for 6 years probably right now, but it'll still get the job done on this. I should be replacing this soon. These guys slide in. Nice little knob here, turn it, crank it down, get it lined up on as clean a file as I can get it. There's some people who say that you should only pull a file guide like this. However, I've pushed my entire life and I've had really great results tuning skis. So I'm going to continue to push. There's some people out there that'll tell you I'm doing this wrong. However, I think the results are good and this is the way I do it and this is what I'm going to show you. You don't always have to do it the way they say.
If you listen closely, you can hear the difference in the sound the tool makes at the tail of the ski versus through the middle of the body of the ski. Did you catch that right there? You can tell almost the exact spot where the base bevel has been properly cut into the body of the ski. The sound here is the file running over a section of edge that has more base bevel than the file is trying to put on. So this is where I know there's a true 1 degree on the ski. I'm only going at this with a 0.75, so there's going to be spots where it's a full 1 degree from the factory where my tool won't even touch, and that's what you hear when it makes those long, high-pitched noises. You can tell by that deeper sound that I'm cutting into solid edge again. That is because I'm up at the tip and I'm actually putting the 0.75 into what is a 0 degree base bevel. I do not run a middle clamp in my tuning setup. It would be easier to do this task if you had the middle of the ski clamped down. However, I find that it takes more time to set it up and take it down all the time than to just rest the ski on this and rely on pressure and friction to hold the ski. That one edge took me just a hair under 2 minutes to complete. I won't bore you with another 2 minutes of it, so here is me doing the other side of the ski, this time going tip to tail. Again, I'm pushing the file and the file guide, and I do not have a middle clamp, and so sometimes the ski wanders, but I get the job done. This is the way I like to do it.
You should also be base beveling your tip and tail every time you get your ski back from your local ski shop. The second task is to shape the tip and the tail of the ski. At the tip and the tail of the ski, you have the edges here stacked by a sheet of Titanol, the sidewall, another sheet of Titanol, and the top sheet. This image is if you cut the tip of the ski right here and look down at this angle.
Skis come from the factory with a single angle cut at the tip and tail.
And what you want to do is just start shaving away from the top down, cutting away at small angles, small increments. I usually hog on this top sheet of metal quite a bit first to get it out of the way, then expose the sidewall, cut into the sidewall, and then get into the second edge down here, slowly beveling the whole thing back, a little more on the top sheet and the second edge, bring that into the sidewall, eventually down into the second edge, beveling it, and then of course rounding up here, making it look nice. This is what it should look like afterwards. Nice rounded bevel on the top edge, a nice angle coming down, and a little bit extra exposed over the edge so you can cut in your true 3 degree, 2 degree, whatever it is for your file guide. Now you can see with this ski, it has been shaped so that you can see the orange sidewall on both sides when you're looking dead on straight down the ski, okay? And this is where a prepping improves the performance of the ski. When this tip is digging into the snow, I don't have to worry about my sidewall, second edge, second sheet of metal, and top sheet all riding on the snow as the ski's cutting through. I'm beveled this way so I get good clean cuts from the ski as I'm shredding.
Shaping a ski can be extremely damaging to your hands, and I've had some limited success wearing gloves in the process. However, I find it a little bit simpler and a little easier just to use painter's tape to armor up my pointer fingers as well as the thumbs on each hand, because these are the digits I use to grip the Panzer file. Shaping is a very physical process. You are literally cutting away metal with your bare hands. So a little bit of protection without losing the feel of your hands and the mobility of your fingers is all you need. Once that is done, I get to work shaping the tip. In case you're wondering if this is what it really takes to shape the tip of the ski, I was not showboating for the camera. This is literally me shaping this ski for my use this winter. This camera angle gives you a good view of the way I grip the Panzer, as well as why I put the painter's tape in the places I do on my fingers. At this point, I've got most of that 90-degree section up at the tip beveled the way I like it, and now I'm trying to extend that new angle and that new bevel into the body of the ski. I end with a few long strokes all the way into the plate of the ski, and then move to the tail of the ski where I will shape the 90-degree section on the tail as well as bevel that up in under the plate. While I totally agree that this process would be a lot easier with vices with clamps, I prefer these loose vices because I can move the skis around faster and I never spend tedious time spinning and unspinning the little clampy spins.
Alright, let's take a look at what I've done here. So what I've attempted to do is bevel this side, and you can see a little bit of orange here next to my finger. I have to go pretty far over here before you can see it, because this is a 90-degree angle here, where now over here I have a beveled situation. Come over here, 90 degrees, there, beveled.
The third task is planing the sidewall of the ski and cutting away the second edge so that you can expose the edge itself for tuning. Once I get the second edge and the sidewall pulled back far enough, then I can file with a new sharp file and cut in my true 3 degree that is accurate to my tuning file guide.
So when we're planing sidewall in the body of the ski, I am starting by taking off little slivers of just the sidewall over here at the 90-degree angle.
This image is looking down the ski as if you cut it in half this way and look down at this angle.
And then slowly shaving that down, beveling that down until I hit the first layer of titanol, also called the second edge. And then once I've got a little bit more of the sidewall, then the second edge planed down, then I start attacking the second edge because it's a different material. I go on it pretty hard, and then I try and smooth it all out. And I just take a little sliver of my real edge away with my Panzer file. That way I know that I've exposed my edge for tuning out here. Now I do want to point out that skis that come from the factory do come with a true 3 degree, 2 degree, whatever they claim to have cut into the edge. That bevel, however, extends all the way through your second edge and into your sidewall through the body of the ski. And so you need to plane the sidewall and the second edge away, and then just a little bit into your regular edge, so you can expose this and then continue to cut your 3 or 2 degree or whatever it is into that edge. Here I am pulling sidewall with the Panzer file. This is how I hold on to the Panzer file while I'm doing it. My fingertips right along the bases while my thumbs apply pressure. Initially, I am just taking that orange sidewall material where that step is, slowly working my way towards the second edge. When I do get to the second edge, then I have to put more pressure on the Panzer file to actually cut into that titanol metal and pull that away as well.
When I'm pulling sidewall, I like to take the stroke from tip to tail to tip, one clean motion. If you do a little bit at a time, you get little jagged or little jumps in your sidewall, and you can certainly feel those when you're up on edge. It feels like a under your foot. So nice, long, clean strokes, tip to tail. You want a perfectly clean sidewall. If you do put dings in it, get out a little sandpaper, sand that away, get back at it with the Panzer until you have a nice, clean sidewall.
This part is fairly physical. I really focus on my footwork here. I do a backwards crossover step halfway down the ski because it's so important that my shoulders and hands stay perfectly level as I go through, so I'm getting clean cuts every time and not potentially stumbling or slipping and cutting my fingers on the edges. And there it is. I have officially shaped the ski. You really get to see how much material I take away from the ski here as I clean up and pull all the debris off of the plate at the end of the ski.
Here is a brand new edge, a new ski, not prepped. I'm going to use a razor blade to try and point with. So this is the step right here. Right now it's a straight line from the edge. There's the second edge, the little bit shinier line, that's the second edge. And then it's still flat going on to the sidewall here, and then it drops down. You can see it drop down there. Now let's flip the ski over to an edge that has been prepped. This is a prepped edge. And now you can see there's the edge. It starts to bevel down. You can see it's a different kind of shiny over the second edge here. It bevels down, and I've beveled back that orange sidewall, much less of a drop from the razor blade.
You can see that the Titanol itself is perfectly smooth, and all this was done with just a simple Panzer file, no sandpaper, nothing extra, and these are the results.
The fourth task is shaping the top sheet. Now this might seem a little bit less necessary than the others, but if you have a really sharp 90-degree top sheet angle here, when your skis click together, you're gonna get some pretty bad chips and dings in your skis. You can see here I have little tiny chips and dings because I've beveled these over so that when the skis hit together, they slide off a little bit more versus dig in. I do this with little short strokes from the Panzer file, and I try and bevel the Panzer a little bit each time, rounding it off.
To smooth and shape the top sheet, I just do it in little slivers, slowly extending the angle, going back, trying to round away this plastic top sheet area. And then I do want to get a little bit into the metal as well. Not too much. I want to keep as much metal in the ski as possible so I maintain the integrity of the ski. So just little shaves, get this rounded off. Same over here, little scrapes, always going straight, beveling it off. A little bit of the Titanol, and you have a nice smooth shaped top sheet. I actually do the fourth task continuously as I'm shaping the ski, whether it be the tip or the main body. But I shot that video before I reviewed all the tuning footage. Now I'm moving into actually tuning my ski for the first time. When skis come out of the factory, they have a machined look to them. The edges almost look serrated. I like to file through all of that because once you have a hand-tuned ski, it skis much different than machine ski, and I'm used to the hand-tune. So I need to get through all of that machining and get the edge of the ski set to the angle of my file guide. It is incredibly important to clean the ski frequently while tuning, especially in this phase where you're taking off a lot of edge at one time, and sometimes these edges fall in between your file guide and your base, and you grind in this grimy stuff, and it's not good for the ski. So I can't recommend cleaning with a paper towel frequently enough. I like to cut my edge angle all the way out to the tail of the ski, even through the rocker portion and up into the tip as far as I can. You'll most likely find that you need to put 4 times the effort in at the tip and tail of the ski, as the edges appear to be more squared off there, similar to the way the sidewall and top sheet were. Once you have the tip and tail close to the angle you like, then it's time to start going tip to tail with the file. This is the first time I'm checking the edge for sharpness. You can visually tell if you've cut the angle all the way through. Those serrated lines from the factory serve as a nice indicator. Because I felt a firm sharpness from the edge, I am moving on to the diamond stones, where I start out with the 200 grit stone, and I go at it really heavy with this stone. I want to get every bit of that machine feeling out of this edge. I want to smooth it out on the stones, and I want to turn this ski into a hand-tuned skiing ski. Your ears can be hugely helpful in this phase of the tuning. You can hear some of the grittiness of the stone going over the edge. When you no longer hear the grittiness, that means it's time to move on to the next stone. The more cleaning with the paper towel, the better. After those last smooth sounding strokes, I move on to diamond stoning the base edge. Again, I use my ears to tell me when I'm done with this stone. This is the one time I'm extremely heavy with the stones on the base edge. This is because the machine feeling is even worse on the base edge compared to being on the side edge. The 400 grit stone. Cleaning the edge before moving on to the base edge with the 400 grit stone. If you're wondering, from this point on out, all the steps are the same steps I took in the original tuning video, A Perfect Ski Tune. Although at this point I'm going to do a complete tune on the ski, I'll have to ski the ski 2 or 3 times and tune it each time in between before I really feel good about the tune and how the ski skis. I've never been able to just do a prep of a ski and go out and ski it perfectly on the first day. It'll ski good, and it'll ski slippery and smooth and do all the buttering and the stuff that I like it to do. However, it really takes 2 or 3 tunes after this initial prep before the ski really comes into its own and feels just like a normal ski. The 1500 grit stone. It really doesn't take much. I always like to finish by hitting the side edge one last time with the 1500 stone before cleaning and then gummy stoning to an appropriate sharpness. That is prepping one side of a ski. That was about 20 minutes of work. I'm pretty practiced at this and pretty efficient with it. It's not beyond expectation that your first prep job on a pair of skis will take you an hour per side of the ski. This is why a lot of people prefer to bring their skis to a ski shop or a professional ski tuner to get the prepping done. However, I'm a dad on a budget and I've never seen the need to spend that money when I can just do it myself. There are 2 common mistakes when prepping or shaping skis, especially in the body of the ski. The first is common in the Panzer file method, where you hold the Panzer file a little too far over the edge and you end up nicking the sidewall itself. This is the Panzer file, it's held too far over, you nick the sidewall, and then you end up with these little triangle type cuts in your sidewall. You can see I have done this to my ski. They're not a big deal. If it's just a light groove, no big deal. If you do any kind of deep gouging, obviously you're taking chunks out of your own sidewall. And I've had chunks this big before doing this technique for sure. The second common mistake is a little bit more common with people using the sidewall pulling tools. That's where you get the tool set just cutting your sidewall and not the second edge is set above the edge. And then that tool keeps on ripping in to your sidewall above the second edge, and you just keep getting deeper and deeper. And then you see kids with a ski that looks like this, where they've dug the sidewall out, they've exposed the top of the second edge, and they've done nothing to help themselves sharpen. And in fact, what they're doing is the file is running over the second edge over and over and over again. They end up filing their ski into a negative side edge angle. One other thing that can happen when you're doing this is some people will just start digging away too much sidewall itself. And the more sidewall that you take away from your ski, the more integrity you take away from the ski. And I like to think of this like the Empire State Building. You want your ski to be stacked at the bottom, gradually getting smaller. So the bigger the base, the better.
and the closer the next phase to the outside of this one, the better. So I like to have as much sidewall as possible on the ski. I just want to pull away just a little bit at a time so I can tune this edge and maintain a 3 degree. Thanks for watching.
This is my first night of carving on the Thunderbirds. They ski awesome, they ski great, but it did take 2 more tunes after these before I felt like they were true Ninja Stick weapons. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this video informative, and if you have any questions or comments, please drop them below.